KVK is finally here. Stage 1 of the pre-KVK event has started on our server, and on this video I'm going to go through the best way to get the most reward out of this event. Hey everyone, this is JM from @Casuals. So today is the first day of the Eye of the Crusade, the pre-KVK event that lasts for 9 days total, with 3 stages that all last for 3 days each. Now in this event particularly, you will have a new breed of barbarians, which are basically marauders, that spawn in your kingdom. When you kill them, there's a 50% chance that they drop a worn little satchel, in which you will open and get one of these 7 items randomly. Once you have one of each, you can exchange it for one of these chests right here like this. And then these chests give absolutely incredible rewards. Now, your AP that you have saved up all this time should go all here for almost every single player without exception, because this is the most value that we will ever get out of this by far. As you can see here, the Marauders spawn kind of like randomly. They look just the same as a Barbarian, except they have a little green icon. So when you're going to go around the map looking for them, you'll see that they have a green icon. It'll be a lot easier to spot them. They are everywhere from Zone 1 to Zone 3, and it doesn't matter where you kill them. They're all the same strength. So you can go and teleport to Zone 1 to find more of them quite easily, which is what a lot of players do. This event is the best way to use AP, as I said. So if you have anything, you should use it here. Like you see here, when you kill one, you have all of these items. There you go. Boom, worn little satchel. You get 3 of them. So this is basically how it works. Now, as you see here, there's a ranking as well, which basically goes by kingdom. Basically, every kingdom has all its members accumulating points for the kingdom, and the one rank 1 to 8, as there's 8 kingdoms per continent, will get different buffs during the KVK. So as you see, it starts with damage and it's gathering speed, training speed. So it's definitely very valuable. For the first kingdom, will have a bit of more damage than everybody else. Now here in individual rank, it's basically the same as the usual reward, except it's a lot of reward. So this is amazing and very worth it. For the ones with the most AP, this will be an amazing reward. Obviously, you're competing against everyone on every kingdom, so it's going to be a lot harder to achieve that. But basically, anyone who has a lot of AP should be using it here. It's the most value you'll get out of anything. Now we'll go through the best ways to farm this, the marches, some of the tips and tricks that will help you get better reward out of this event. Now, as I said earlier, you can find them by looking on the map. You're basically looking for a green icon. See, I see one right here. So they're a bit easier to spot than other barbarians, but because there's so many players in Zone 3 here, as you can see, some players go in Zone 1 like these guys, because there will be a lot less players there and it will be a lot easier to farm them. Now, there's a certain amount of them that spawn per hour, so you should not have too much trouble finding them, but it is always recommended that you try and go away from the masses. And also, as you see here, some players can do, they basically group with other players from your alliance. So something that's good is basically you'll have 4 different players sending 4 or 5 marches each, and they'll all attack the same marauders one after the other, which basically makes it both easier on the armies, taking less damage, and also just easier on finding them farther away from your city. It's just basically saving you time. So for this event, it is very important that you use 4 or 5 Peacekeeper armies with Peacekeepers that are talented the proper way. Because this event is so valuable, you want to maximize your AP usage. So you want that when you attack the one of the Marauders, you want to use 40 AP only. And obviously, you want to have the talents that increase the XP gain and that give you all the buff. So if we go in the talent tree right here, so as you see here, first of all, this talent is the most important, reduces the attack point by 10. So you want to have that on every single army that's attacking a Marauder. It's better to bring less armies with only this talent than to bring extra armies with commanders that don't have this. So the primary commander of your armies has to have this talent. For sure, the value is too good not to do this. Now, this as well, 15% XP. The primary commander having this will give the buff to both commanders in the army, and they do give quite a bit of XP, so it is very important because it will help your commanders level up. So make sure that your secondary commanders are commanders that you will actually want to use and level up. And this one is also super important. It's obviously a small amount of resources every time you kill one, but it really adds up. This is absolutely crazy for both barbarians and marauders in general. You won't have these 3 talents at all times. Now, the rest of the tree doesn't matter as much. Obviously, Lohar obviously is the best Peacekeeper because he sustains a lot. I usually go for Rejuvenate because he is to restore rages, which makes him heal more. And eventually, when you have him leveled up higher enough, you will have this, which heals even more than his other talents. Now, I recommend making Lohar with someone like Richard, or in my case, I'm using Minamoto because I want to level Minamoto the most and use the benefit of this experience bonus. But basically, you want Lohar to be the one tanking the army. That's why I'm using full Cav, so that he's the fastest army and will reach the Marauders before anyone else, as well as taking most of the damage. And then when the Marauders are dead, he will heal up a lot more than anybody else while taking the least amount of damage. Now, I recommend sending 4 more armies that have kind of a mixed or at least a slow unit, like you can put a little bit of infantry, because that way they will all walk at the exact kind of same speed and they won't like lag behind and they'll hit the Marauders at the same time. So this is how I'm doing it. I'm sending Lara first and all of these armies following, which all go at the same speed. Now, another tip I want to bring to your attention: when you have armies outside in the field, attacking a barbarian will cost 40 AP. Now, every time you attack and kill a barbarian, or a marauder in this case, of course, you will gain 2 AP cost reduction up to 10. So, as you see here, I've attacked more than 5 marauders. Now, it costs me only 30 AP to attack any of these now. Now, these are barbarians, of course, but if it was a marauder, it would be the same thing. So, every time you go back to your city and heal and come back out, it will go back to 40 until you kill 5 marchers and then you go back to 30. So, the point is that you want to have your army out without healing as long as possible, so that you use the least amount of AP to kill the most amount of marauders as possible. So one of the good ways to help you do that is basically using items like this, which enhance your attack or even your defense in the case that you are preventing yourself from getting hurt. In my case, I will use attack because if they die faster, I will basically take less damage. You can also do the old trick that everybody knows, where you just find an inactive player's city and scout it, just like this. Scout with anything, doesn't matter. Then you get this buff, which is not huge, but it's a little percentage of damage, basically. So as you see here, it's 3% attack, so it's still worth it. And last but not least, try and get a rune. Now, in this case, we have a 15% action point recovery, which is probably the best rune for this event. Like, it's crazy how lucky we got with this. Basically means you're going to regen more AP. As you see, you click here, we have 1 point per 30 second. I have a 20% bonus. Now I would have a 15% additional bonus, which eventually really adds up to a few extra marauders and a few extra chests at the end of the event. So these are very important. Try and min-max this kind of stuff. You really want to use this event efficiently because the rewards are just absurd how good they are. Now, on the same note, when you are regenerating your AP, you're going to be using a lot of potion. For example, I'm going to use 500 here. So I'm not going over 1,000. I'm still regenerating. You see, I'm going to need an hour to full recovery. Now, if you're going over that number, see if I'm going, I can go over 1,000, but then it stops regenerating. So, of course, it's not a big deal, but you're losing out on a few percentage of AP. Like every few minutes, you're going to gain a few AP, and you're losing out on that by the time you reach an army. So try and always boost up to like 900 something, but don't go over 1,000 if you really want to maximize your AP usage. Now, another feature that was implemented not that long ago is you can exchange pages. As you see, sometimes the luck of the draw makes it so that you have a lot more of one than the other. If you click this button right here, you'll see you have a trading list. It's basically only for your alliance. And see, I'll cancel it just to show you. It basically, you can choose, let's say I want this one, and then I'm going to give this one. And it's just that easy. You can do one at a time with your alliance members, and you can see what they want and what you will lose. So as you go and as you progress, keep opening your satchel, keep opening everything up, and just make sure to trade everything that you seem to be getting more than others. Because if you wait until the last day, you will have maybe a very bad luck and have so many of one page and not everybody's going to be able to take it. So try and keep doing this as you go. See, I already claimed it. There we go. Now I can trade another one right here. Let's see, offering this one. So it's pretty straightforward. You just keep doing this, keep being active. Like, don't accumulate for too long. Keep killing and keep opening the chest when you have them. Just don't stack them up for too long because you'll end up with too many pages. Now, as I said earlier, the rewards for this event are absolutely insane. There is almost nothing better than this in the game for AP. It's actually probably where you should spend every single AP potions that you have right now, because you will never get the same value for your AP otherwise. The only exception is that some players want to compete for the ranking of honor in KVK itself, and when you get top 20, you can get a city skin and a lot of like legendary sculptures. Now, if you're not a big freaking whale who's spending a lot of money, you're not going to be able to reach top 20 anyways. So you really should just be using everything here. This will help you boost in power, and will also give you a lot of resources in these chests. As you see here, I'm going to trade a few of them. In those chests, you'll get so much speed up and so many resources that you will be able to do in the stage 2, which is troop training. You'll be able to train a lot more troops and get even more points for yourself. So if you see here the reward, we'll go and open them quickly. Now I have 3 of them, so let's just open them all just so you see. So see, I got 1 8-hour speed up, 1 cool sculpture, 500,000 resource, a lot of XP, and a few credits, and this as well. So in this event, you can accumulate hundreds of these chests. Now imagine hundreds of these different items every time, hundreds of hours of speed up, hundreds of millions of resources. Like, it really adds up like crazy. So this is really something that you should focus all your energy on. Now, as I mentioned earlier, the rewards are insane, but also just from killing the Marauders themselves, as you see, they also give reward. Now, this is also the best way to farm gems for any free-to-play players. You get about 160-ish gems for every 1000 AP spent. So every time you use 1000 of this, you should get 160-ish gems. Both from this and the chest combined together, because there's also a lot of gems in the chest themselves. Now, this is just crazy amount of value. Really is important that you focus this with everything you have, as I said. Now, I'm going to go over what the next stages are. So stage 2 will basically benefit you in terms of points by training troops. So similar to the first stage of Mighty Governor. And then the last stage is Crusade of Forts. So it's basically rallies over and over. That rally phase does really good for the points here. So if you get individual point, it will do more. It also consumes AP, but the rewards are very nothing compared to this event. So obviously, some people will want to save a little bit for the last phase because they will try and get more points for their kingdom. But at the end of the day, if you're killing Marauders all day and you're using all the resources and speed up that you get from the Marauders in order to train troops on the phase 2, you'll be winning more than you'll be losing if you were saving up your AP. And on top of that, you'll get tons of rewards. So really, I really suggest you focus on this a lot. Marauders are absolutely important. Group with your friends, use proper marches with Peacekeepers, and just make sure to bang all of it as much as you have AP. I'm going to go through over 100,000 of AP here. I have more than that actually, but I'm going to be using everything I have. So this is where you want to be spending it. This is the fun before KVK starts. And after that, when this event is over, we get to teleport into the Lost Kingdom and finally get to do some war. So thanks for watching, guys. Of course, this is pretty straightforward, but if you have any question or want some help on your commanders or talents, whatever, just feel free to comment and ask me here, as well as you can always join our Discord and check our other videos about commanders, how to build them. We have a full video about Peacekeepers, which ones to use, how to use them, what talent to get with them, so make sure to check that out.